Okay, so a couple things. In the last video, I never really I copied that second question to be the third question, but I never changed this label here on frame 40. So I'll go ahead and uh, just for clarification, call that popularity question in the properties panel. So that just makes things a little bit clearer to read. Okay, so frame 55 is currently our last frame. So a couple things we're going to do here. I'm first going to select one of these buttons and zap it, get rid of it. This button I'm going to turn into a go back to the beginning button. So in the properties panel, when I have this button selected, again, you have to select it or else the properties panel isn't going to show up. I'm going to call this play again. Play again. Okay. Can't have spaces in the name. Should have known that. Okay, so play again, no spaces. Okay, so I'm going to then aim that back to frame 1. And so get my code snippets, double click on, click to go to frame and play. And oops, just went a little too fast there, I think. So I'm going to make that frame 1. There you go. And I'm going to need to add some text here on the text layer. So I'm going to make sure that I'm on the text layer, get my text tool, and we'll say play again. Click off, get my V selection tool, and drag it down here. Another thing I've wanted to do for a while with this button is to actually explain the buttons, and I'm going to change the shape of this one a little bit with my Q free transform tool. Okay, so I'm going to make it a little bit more square. Oops. I'll just arrow it into place. But if you go down here to your library and get that button shape, double click on it so you can edit that. I'm not really happy with the interactivity that I'm getting on my web design here. Now I know this is going to be for an Android app and it won't matter quite so much with it, but just so you know, there is actually one thing in here that would kind of matter. And there are 4 different states of a button. The normal state, which is called up, when you have your mouse over it. And then the hit area is the third one that's kind of important. Now there's the down one, which doesn't really, we aren't going to use that. But let's take a look at the over one. Let's right click there and insert a keyframe. And then I'm going to hit I on my keyboard to get that color and kind of get a good starting point with it. You know what? I take it back. Because that alpha is down. Let's just get something that's kind of complementary. A little bit darker, get a rectangle. And for the up state, I'm just going to make that a little bit darker. Just a little bit. Okay. Now for the hit state, if you change this hit state at all, what you can do with this, and it's good for mobile applications in some cases, is if you change that hit state and drew anything around it, including an invisible object, say with an alpha of 0, then that would also respond to touch. So you could have a larger, more forgiving touch area on your phone application. So just something to think about as far as buttons go, especially when you're doing mobile apps. I'm going to just do some Command Z's here to get rid of that. Okay. Well, and now moving back from my button level to the scene level, I'm going to click on scene 1. There you go. And let's do a preview here, Command Enter. We'll go through this, and you can see that now these have these a little bit better interactivity. And now if I play again, it takes me back to the top. Okay, so a bit of an issue here though. What if I try to select the wrong answer because I just selected all the right answers? Oops. I just selected Alice, but it gave me the point. It says, sorry, that's not right. It still gives me the point. Why is that? Well, a couple videos back, I alluded to the fact that Flash doesn't like to reset variables, and that makes things a little bit more difficult as far as when things go back to the beginning of something, you have to do some special things. And so that's going to be the new skill for this video, creating a function. Okay, so we have to actually create a function back here on frame 1 in order to change the variables back to, well, in this case, we're going to make them all 0. Okay, so what we need to do is place our playhead on the actions frame on frame 1, actions layer on frame 1, open up our actions, and we're going to define a function. So the function to define a function is function. Imagine that. And now you name the function, and you can name it anything you want. But I'm just going to, for simplicity's sake, call it reset. And then we're not going to have any parameters that go in here, so it's just going to be empty. And then we're going to type in :void, which means that I think it means that you don't have to have any parameters. So I'm going to throw that in there. Get a bracket, and here we're just going to type in all of those variables. Gender question equals 0, semicolon. Nation question equals 0, semicolon. Pop question equals 0, semicolon. And then we can, well, I think that's it. That's all we need. So this defines the function, and that's fine, but it hasn't actually done anything. It just says that when we type in the function reset, then all of these variables are going to be set to 0. Well, what's nice is we can call it right away. So reset, put in those brackets, end it with a semicolon. All right, let's see if that works. Okay, so we're going to do the same test. Roy got 1, Akira got 1, Emma got 1. Okay, let's play again. Let's go with the wrong answer, Alice. And sure enough, it's set to 0. Sheila, 0 still. And Mortimer, still 0. Okay, so make sure that that's all working correctly. And basically we have a working application at this point, right? Pretty cool. In the next video, we're going to add in a few little pieces of flair, let's say, to the end of the application.